Welcome to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. I am Gat, your host. This is a viewer who had a natal chart reading where a lot of information was revealed. One of the few times where I actually saw Lilith actually help. I've only done a few natal charts where you actually saw Lilith help a relationship. So based on what I said and based on her own personal life, she wanted to have 7 additional questions, which we're going to ask the archangels right now. So this will be an angel card reading. Her first question for the archangels is, was her husband her twin flame? We'll be back with their answers. Three cards pulled to answer that question. First card is Uriel. Now, it's been a while since I did your natal chart. So what you may have to do is when you look at your chart, go back to the video and realize what was said about Uriel or Uranus or Aquarius, which is your 11th house. Because you're asking, was your husband your soulmate and twin flame? Uriel coordinates with Uranus, which is Aquarius, the 11th house of the zodiac. And he is telling you claircognizance. Pay attention to thoughts and ideas that come to you as they are answered prayers. So you're going to be receiving thoughts and ideas that come to you as they are answered prayers. They want you to pay attention, but it's your extrasensory perceptive gifts you have to tune in on. And you'll get more information there. But there are 2 more cards to pull to answer this question. Once again, gifts from God. Sandalphon. So they're really telling you you have a lot of more power than you may realize if you're using the gifts that have already been talked about probably in the first video. This is Sandalphon. Correlates with Pisces, which is gifts from God. We angels are bringing you gifts from your creator. Open your arms to receive. So you have to use those perceptive gifts. I'm sure all of this was talked about or mentioned in the first video. Also, 4 days will be January 31st, 2017. And there's a couple out here, or they were out here, called the Twin Flames. Twin Flames analysis. Twin Flames, era. Twin Flames era. And they've been going for such a long time because they apparently are in separation. And they were supposed to be teaching us about twin flame, but they taught us the perfect example because they separated. Yeah, baby. So let's go on over to their channel really quick to see if they've come back, because I was hoping they'd come back. I had predicted it, but then something told me to come out and say they may not come back. But then again, with this new Aquarius moon, you never know. You never know what these twin flames and twin souls are going to do. Do. Because I was hoping at least one of them would come back, just to let us know what happened. It was so selfish to come out here and tell us you were going to teach us about twin flames, and then you both hauled ass and nobody came back to say, okay, this is what's going on. See, I don't like dealing with the shaky, flaky people. They haven't been back for almost a year, 10 months ago. Oh, why have you left us? But that's a real twin flame couple. Just so you know. There's a lot of people out here saying that twin flames, they ain't putting up no paperwork and they ain't showing no signs. Alright. So let's get back to the third and final question to answer. Was her husband her twin flame? Third question. Oh, and just so you know, the reason why I went to a twin flames era, it was Pisces or Sandalphon that brought those two together through the dreams. That's why they're telling you to be more conscious of your extrasensory perceptive gifts, because they are talking to you. They're telling you a lot of things that you'd want to know, but you got to really start to tune into your extra perceptive sensory gifts. There's so many words. Let me just say ESPN. Or ESP, I'm sorry. ESPN is a sports station. I'm sorry, it's one of those days. Extra sensory perceptive gifts. There you go. All right, here's the third card. Healthy lifestyle, Raphael. Eat a healthful diet, get adequate sleep, and exercise regularly for optimum health. Now, when a card like that happens, you just see if he shows up again in the reading. Because they love you, so you may have health issues or anything. I'm not saying you do, because I don't know yet. I'll know at the end of this reading. But they'll do that if they have something to tell you. It's kind of like if you got a relative, like, see, I'm old school, you know. You might have a aunt or your grandmother pull you to the side and say, hey, do this. So that's what this argument. Raphael is pulling you to the side to basically say, be mindful of your health. He's not interested in the answer to the question, because what good is it if you're not here? So he's interrupting to say, be mindful of your health. All right. We're just going to do this differently for your second, because you're asking 2 questions in one, and that could be kind of difficult for them to answer. It's 2 different questions. So we want to make it up. We're going to ask, will she solar ascend? We'll be back with their answers. 3 cards pulled. Will she solar ascend? First card, Shamuel. Shamuel is a Taurus. He says, beloved one, I am helping you with your spiritual soulmate relationship. Again, when you get this, because I'm putting all this information on your sheet you're going to get, so you'll have the zodiac signs, which will take you to the houses you can go to, because Shamuel is a Taurus, and he says, beloved one. He's helping you with your spiritual soulmate relationship. Second card, Raphael shows up again. That's why I told you. So just in this particular reading, Raphael is acting like your grandmother. We're going back, though, when people actually cared. Raphael is acting like your grandmother. You're a young child, and she's telling you to take care of yourself. Because Raphael is saying angel therapy. Give all your cares and worries to us angels and allow us to take your burden. So like I said, it could be a tendency to, like, it could be a humble message to move on, because we start asking questions about, you know, people that have left us, which are always with us, but just in our third dimensional reality, they're not with us anymore, and we're still worrying about it. And then Raphael is kind of saying that's not healthy. He's kind of telling you to let them help you and to move on. Kind of, you got to let go and let God, let the angels help you. Will she solar ascend? Next question. Sandafon shows up again. He says, victory. Your prayers have been heard and answered. Have faith. So, looking at all of it, even when you ask about solar ascend, and then Shamuel says, he says soulmate. So, the general vibe is, the answer would be yes. And again, he's Pisces, and he says victory. And a lot of these questions, what I try to help people understand, once you wake up, it's up to you to start working with your angels, because a lot of the questions you ask, it's just better if you work with them because you'll get a better answer through them. You won't have to go through a second course because when you start asking about some of these questions, it's just better if you work with them because you won't go. It's just too much energy. When you start asking about the karmic debt and stuff like that, it's better you work with your angels directly because that's the whole idea. They try to wake you up so you learn how to use the cards and stuff because it's just better. It's better for you all around for you spiritually because you had that connection. Otherwise, you're going through a middleman and that's energy transfer and it gets kind of it can get complicated. Like I said, it's people that are real good at making you think. They have all the answers. I never lie like that. I never lie. All right. All right. I'm gonna put this on pause. I'll be back. All right. So before we continue, I'm just going because I'm just getting a strong vibe, so I want to explain that to you. What happens sometimes when a person gets an angel card reading, and this can be anybody, it's a human response, but I'm going to tell you why it's unhealthy, and that's probably another reason why Raphael is showing up. When you get your reading, especially from me, I know I'm very thorough. You have to go somewhere where you actually get some quiet time with you and go over it. See, the whole idea of this is to grow, so that you start to use your because all of us have intuition. I'm no better than nobody else. See, a real person is going to tell you the real truth. I'm not worrying about the green and whites. I'm not worrying about the dollar sign. Even this reading was actually I just gave it to her. There's no price on this reading, but it was when I got done with her first reading, it just felt like she may have some other questions. But what I'm going to try to teach is why Raphael keeps showing up, talking about health and stuff like that, and work with your angels. Is because people get centered on certain things. And you got to stop centering on what this and that. What about this person? Who about that? You got to take your information and just read it. Because the more you start to study and learn it, you'll be able to use your natal chart. That's why I say it's important to get your natal chart. And you'll be able to answer your own questions. Like me, I can take my natal chart with today's space chart. And I can do my horoscope for myself. And I can do it for, all the zodiac signs. It's not that hard to do once you understand the basics. It's really not. Even people working with angel cards. Once you start to work with the angel cards and they're working with you, you can start doing readings. You can buy angel card deck on Thursday morning and Thursday evening. You could be doing readings on YouTube or wherever you want to go with it, or with friends and relatives. So what happens is if we're centered on, oh, what about my twin? What about my twin? Or what about this? What about that? So we're not listening when we get the reading the first time. So we're kind of asking questions that were answered in the first reading. And it's a human tendency, but it's unhealthy. That's because Raphael's going to say, because that type of person, they're going to be the type of person that says, hey, but on the first reading you said this. And I'm going to be realistic. I'm going to say, okay, first of all, I don't even remember the first reading because I've probably done 30 or more readings since then. So I really don't even remember the first reading you're talking about. And second off, these things happen when you're not, this is all about energy. The whole thing is like in the Bible, if Elisha says to Elijah, oh, give me a double portion of your spirit. And then Elijah does. He gives him a double portion of his spirit. And then a situation comes up and Elisha runs back to Elijah. he's missing the whole point. You now you have the ability to answer these questions, and just so you know, the movie Last Dragon, he ran all over looking for a sensei, but he was a sensei. So he lost all these resources, he lost all this stuff when actually he had that strength. So that's the vibe I'm getting. That's the total vibe I'm getting over. Like it's like almost deja vu. Like some of these questions have already been answered, but when you're so intent, you're not hearing. And I told one female, she was looking so much for error that she wouldn't see the truth. It was right in front of her because she was too busy looking for error. And so, you know, that one didn't go well because from the moment I met her, it was all like she thought I had to prove. I don't have to prove anything. I know this is true, and I know the angels are for everybody's well-being. The angels are for everybody's good, but it's our fault because we stay third dimensional. Either we're too impatient or we have something on our mind that we want to know so much that we keep asking that question, and they've already answered it. And once that happens, you're going to start getting answers that aren't going to make sense to you because they've already answered it. So that's the vibe I'm getting, just so you know, because I don't know what's going to happen. Now they may shock me. They may say something that I wasn't expecting. I don't know what they're going to do. But with Raphael showing up 2 times already, and just the vibe I have is like a lot of that will become natural. Like I'm sure they told you before to work on your gifts. I'm sure they did, and they're telling you that to do it again because now they're telling you you have the ability to work on your gifts, and you'll already know a lot of these answers. And they're doing that for your best. They wouldn't have said it if they didn't think you did. If they didn't think you had the ability, they would never have mentioned it in the first place. But if they mention that you got the gift, use your gift, or whoever showed up in your last reading, that's because you had to start. And once you try it, like I get a lot of different questions, and I can tell people who really sat down with the information and thought about it because I can tell by the questions they're asking. And I can tell people that didn't really think about the information and they just want to know, where's my twin? What about my twin? Well, if this is my twin, what about this? And they're still asking that same question that they were asking almost in the beginning because they didn't really meditate on any of the information they got. And they're still asking the same question. And in that case, the angels are not going to necessarily answer it again because they already did. But they may do something different. But I'm just explaining that for this person that asks for this, and I'm explaining that for anybody that listens. When you get there, this is the money you paid for. So you need to now take it and sit somewhere quiet. Make quiet time and study it and sink it in. And then a lot of your questions you'll get your answers to. You can go to another person, but as long as you're using that third person energy or whatever you want to call it, the middleman, then it's not pure energy. It's not pure energy because now they got to go through that person, and this person may have had readings with all kind of people all over, so they got to go through all that energy, and they're trying to get to your energy, and then you may still not really resonate. So once they give you that, at least try to understand first, so that if you do come back with some real questions, they can help you better. Because now you really studied the information. Now the question you're asking are like, okay, I got the first part, but what about this? And it makes sense to everybody. But if you get into that deja vu, like it just feels like these questions have already been answered, then I believe that's why you're seeing Raphael, and Raphael keeps talking about health. And I think he's talking about your physical health, but he's also talking about your spiritual health because it's not healthy because you're not trusting. You're not working with the angels. You're looking for somebody else to answer your questions for you, and you now have the ability, a lot of that, to answer yourself, or at least if you made the attempt to study the zodiac signs, study your houses and stuff like that. So that's just the vibe I'm getting. And now I'm going to answer or attempt to see what they say. All right. Let's ask this one. All right. We're going to put down is your. I'm just trying to see how to ask it so that they answer it. Just got to give me a minute. Okay, you're asking about this young man. The question I'm going to ask the archangels is this young man she's referring to her twin flame, and I'll be back with the answers. All right, 4 cards pulled. The question is this young man you're referring to your twin flame. First card is Ariel, corresponds with Aries. She says spread your wings. Do not hold back right now. The timing is perfect. You are ready to soar. Second card is Michael. You are safe. I am protecting you against lower energies and guarding you, your loved ones, and your home. And that's kind of I just got to mention it because I saw as soon as she came, but I didn't want to say nothing because say, well, you know, you're sounding like a naysayer. It's not that I'm a naysayer, but the last time Ariel showed up was an abusive dude, and he beat, and she was telling a woman to get get away from the dude as quick as possible, and the dude did beat her up. But now Michael's showing up saying you're safe, so I don't know why you're asking about this young man, and then twice safety issues like have come up. So you could read that, you can read into that any way you like, but I'm just telling you what I saw last time. So Michael says you are safe. Next card is this young man. She's referring to her twin flame. Raguel says clairsentience. See, they keep telling you to use your ESPN. You got intuition and you have ESPN, so you got to learn how to use it. Clairsentience. Notice your recurring physical and emotional feelings as they signify divine guidance. Because I don't care where you go, and I don't care how much you're going to spend. If it's meant for you to know it, ain't nobody going to be able to tell you. And if they lie to you, they may make you feel good, but at some point you're going to realize you just got had. And I'm not in the business of lying to people or jerking people with the money. I just tell you what it really is. So Raguel is, once again, clairsentience. And he's Sagittarius, which is the 9th house of the zodiac. That's the whole idea of getting your natal chart, people. That way you can go right to your natal chart because these angels are telling you where to look. And that way, when you come to a person like me who really knows what they're doing, they're not going to know what you're talking about. Because you're telling me specifically, because you know, oh, the 9th house, blah, blah, blah. Otherwise, like I said, you're just wanting answers that you really already had the answers to. And at some point, Uriel might show up because he's going to say, you already know what to do. Is this young man she's referring to her twin flame, Claire Sagittarius, Raguel Sagittarius, says clairsentience. Notice your recurring physical and emotional feelings as they signify divine guidance. In other words, notice your feeling because they're already talking to you. The next one. And then now Hanael shows up and says moon cycles. Notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestation and capitalize on these cycles. So she's telling you to learn more about the moon cycles, and that information is in the description box of this video. And it is a new moon, so it's kind of funny she's telling you that. So a lot of times, like I said, you're not going to get the answer you're looking for because you're not working with them. And I've seen that many times. Like people you're not always going to get those certain answers. This is how, some psychics are good. But other psychics just rip you off. Because they're gonna give you answers to questions that really, and it's always going to be a future answer. Oh yeah, I see soon. Oh, within the next 3 months. Oh yes, he is your twin. And in the next 3 months, and people they just take soaking you for your money. And 3 months come and go, and the person still ain't your twin, and they still ain't nowhere near you. And what are you gonna do about it? So I just tell you straight up. First off, you got the natal chart, if I'm not mistaken. So you do know how to look at it. Second off, the angels already gave you wonderful advice in the first reading. It's just that maybe you wanted more or wasn't in tune with what they said. But they already told you the truth in the first one. So that's what you should be looking at. You should still be really trying to make sure you understand those answers. Because as far as asking what this male is, they're telling you to use your gifts and you'll have your answer. Because as you can see, every question that was asked, they didn't really give you an answer as of that, but they did give you some safety concerns. Where Michael did say you were safe, but Ariel also said spread your wings. And last time I saw that was an abusive situation where a woman did get beat up. Now, earlier you asked about solar ascent, and Shamuel showed up for some reason, saying spiritual soulmate. But that could be something on your natal chart, where Taurus is, what house Taurus is in. And even when you asked about your husband, was he your soulmate twin? Your owl came out and said claircognizance, so he's saying use your ESPN, use your extrasensory perceptive gifts. Now give me a second, I'm still looking at the other question. All right, with this one. Please tell her about her relationship with the male she is referring about. All right, I'll be back with the answers. Okay, 4 cards pulled. Please tell her about her relationship with the male she's referring to. Excuse me, 3 cards pulled. First card, comfort, Azrael. See, this is a promise from the angels, and these are the people you should be working with now because you have the ability to do it. This is Azrael, Capricorn, once again going to that 10th house, which can be house of career, but it can also be house of your project if your project is uniting with the twin soul. Azrael is Capricorn. He says comfort. And he says, I am with you in your time of need, helping your heart to heal. So whenever that heart to heal, it could be your physical health, like health problems, or it could be your romantic heart. All right. Next card is Michael. Remember who you are. You are a powerful, loving, and creative child of God. You are very loved. So once again, both of these cards are, well, Azrael says he's trying to help you get comfort and heal, but Michael is trying to tell you, got to get some self-esteem. You can't keep worrying about twin flame, soulmate. You got all these crystal child. You got all these things, but you got to remember who you are. Because once you remember who you are, like I said, if you were doing what you should have been doing earlier, you'd already be building yourself up. And all that other stuff you're worrying about, it would already be working itself out. Like, if you have any type of twin soul union, whatever union, it's not going to get stronger unless you're getting stronger, especially if you guys are in separation. Now, if you guys are working together, then it's a little bit different because y'all are working together, but most are not. So if you're in any form of not working together, or the best thing you can do is build yourself up. That way, when the universe brings you two back together, you'll be better off to help that person because they still may not be built up. So you have to be the strong one sometimes. So that's what Michael's telling you to do. Remember who you are. And remember, that's why I said it's hard to explain, but you know, you want to just tell the truth, but sometimes it's hard because it's hard for people, they don't accept it. But I know for a fact she's asking about this guy, and a lot of her questions are about this guy. And the first card, Ariel, comes out and says, like, basically spread your wings. And last time I saw her come out like that, the guy beat the woman up, and she's a friend of mine. And then Michael comes out right again with a safety, so you're safe. So Michael's kind of like acting like your uncle right now. Raphael's acting like your grandmother. Stay healthy, stay healthy. This is how you be healthy. And Michael's acting like your uncle. Okay, I got your back, but you've got to realize who you are. So don't like I said, anybody, you might get hit with the whole twin flame thing, but that's not the reason why you got hit with it. I'm trying to help you understand. Anybody listening, you got hit with that twin flame thing to realize there's a world full of people that need help. It's not just about you and how you feel about yourself or your love or will I ever find love and all that. It's 7 billion people on the planet. I say 8 billion. So it's not just about me and my twin. It's not that, but see, I took my whole situation and used it to help people all around the world. So until you get that more we mentality and not I, you're gonna have problems, and you're actually pushing your twin away with that I. It got to be about you, what you want. How when am I gonna find love? What about me? And it's never gonna happen. It's gonna take a long time if it ever happens, and if it happens, it's gonna be like separation, which hurts, because then you're gonna wish it never happened. You're gonna say, oh wow, it's where's he at now? I thought we were gonna be together, and nah. So until you learn what Michael's saying, who you are, and what your goal, what your real reason for learning this information is, and start using it because you know how to do it. Like I know you know how to do it. That's why I said. Not saying you'll be perfect, but I wasn't perfect either. Everybody learns. You learn at your own pace, but you do learn. So Michael is saying, remember who you are. All right, third question. Please tell her about her relationship with the male she is referring to. Hello from heaven. Azrael again. The Capricorn. Your loved ones in heaven are doing fine. Let go of worries and feel their loving blessings. So you got all these people trying to help you. But that's why you got to start working on your psychic abilities. Because what they did with that in the karate, in the last dragon was about a dude in the martial arts. And he was always looking for a sensei, looking for somebody to answer his questions, somebody to lead him. And every time he did that, he lost resources, he got beat up. All he did was lose, lose, lose. And at the end, finally, he was getting beat up so bad that he finally realized that he was the teacher. He was the master. And then he turned into that fire. And then he beat that guy, totally devastated that guy. And through the whole movie, this guy was a terror. But at the finally beat the bully up. So that's what happens. You got to realize that the power is in you. And they've already shown you how to use your natal chart. They've already shown you how to work with the angels. So now that power is in you. Because anywhere else you go from here on in, I can promise you, for the most part, I'm not saying you won't meet somebody that tells you a few things that might come true, but overall, you're going to find out that you just had smoke blown up your ass and you just wasted resources. And that's why he's trying to teach you about health. Raphael's trying to teach you about health, being sound. And then Michael's trying to teach you about self-esteem, which is sound health in yourself, belief in yourself. And then Azrael is letting you know that you have others helping you. Hello from heaven. Loved ones in heaven. And that's all your 12th house. Well, that's your 10th house. So you'll want to see who's in your 10th house, what's over there and stuff like that. Because that's more information. But I can promise you, if you rely on anybody else to help you with it, you might not get the answers you're looking for. And it's already checking out. Like if you've checked into it and you really don't know, that's different because you actually checked into it. You may not understand. That's a different thing. But definitely try to get an idea how to use your natal chart, how to start asking questions that actually show that you're trying to work with your angels. That's a big difference. Okay, now there's one question. You said, has your karmic debt been met? So when we did your reading, if you know about karmic debt, just like if you know about solar ascension, then you obviously heard me talking about it. So I'm sure I went over all the auras I saw. Any retrograde, I went over that already to show what would need to be worked on, because that would be considered like karmic debt. So give me one moment. I'm gonna try one thing. I'm gonna put this on pause. I'll be back. Okay, so you were asking questions about karmic debt. So I thought the wisest thing to do is to pull your chart up. And that might have been what I used for the entire video. Alright, so So what I want to do right now is just removing some stuff off of the information. That way it only say Monday and nothing else. Alright, so we're going right on. We're only looking for karmic debts. We're looking for retrogrades, I'll put it like that. Like I said, you don't really have a lot of retrogrades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, so far Raziel hasn't shown up, so that would be a Leo. And let me see something else. What's going on? Don't have time for this. Give me a second. This. Alright, I'm putting this on pause. Oh yeah, now on my channel there's a wonderful video that was sent to me. This is not my video, but it's all about the Aquarius new moon. And it's funny how I'm doing your answers to your questions on Aquarius new moon. It gives a lot of great information, and it deals with situations like you're asking. Because sometimes, oh, where's mine? Or what do I got to do? And they give some great advice on how to cope with that. So you might want to refer to that video as well. Again, that's the name of that channel is Higher Self. I have nothing to do with that video. That video was sent to me, but I did listen to it. It gave me excellent advice for my situation. Anybody going through any type of twin soul, twin flame, soulmate, any type of relationship, she gives great advice. So when you go to my channel, it's right there. The date will be January 27, 2017, about the new moon, Aquarius new moon. And again, the name of the channel is Higher Self. All right, I'm still looking up some information. I'll be back. All right, so I just wanted to make sure I had the correct count for your house. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth house is family. You got Leo there, but we're interested in Uranus being retrograde. But see, you see Pluto right there. So I'll give you the possibilities. Now Neptune retrograde. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's in your 7th house with Scorpio. So you got a whole lot of. That's why I said I know you have the ability to notice like intuitively, because you got Scorpio, Neptune. So you got the whole Pisces Scorpio thing going on, because Neptune rules Pisces, and I'm pretty sure. Let's go to your 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, just like I thought. In your 11th house, you have Pisces being ruled by Neptune. The 11th house is about really when the twin souls or whatever, they become one when they submit. And then in your 10th house is in your 10th house you have Aquarius, which really rules your 11th house. So you got a whole lot of psychic stuff going on. You have a lot of gifts, and that's what they're trying to get you to use. And you have money, because that's your 10th house is your career house. You got Aquarius there, so you will make a lot of money as well. So you got to get out of third dimensional thinking, and you got to get out of the woe is me, where's mine, why don't I have it? You got to stomp that out, and that's why Michael's appearing to tell you got to know who you are, remember who you are, and then Raphael is appearing to say it's unhealthy. That kind of thought process is unhealthy, and it's not going to benefit you. And so your Neptune is retrograde because it's working with Pisces to help you and your twin find each other and surrender. And And the other two retrogrades, because I'm looking to see if there's any other retrograde. So your Neptune retrograde is not really a retrograde. It has nothing to do with karma. It has to do with Neptune teaching you your past life through your subconscious, which is Pisces, and that's in your 11th house. So one day you will come into union with your twin soul. But again, it's through psychic, through Scorpio, through psychic, doing working with your gifts. It's not just going to happen. And if it did happen, you wouldn't be ready for it, which means you would just get hurt. That whole thing, you have to understand that whole thing is based on your connection to the archangels, your psychic abilities, and all that. It's not just, oh, I'm going to meet somebody and we're going to fall in love and drive off, fly off, whatever, ride a horse off into the sunset. That's not what's going to happen. So then you got Pluto retrograde, and those are the only two retrogrades I see. So if these are karmic debt, it's in your 4th house and 5th house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's really a house, really of family and or love, like this love, not necessarily a relationship, but love, like dating. The 5th house would be maybe like dating, going out with somebody, having that type of relationship, but it's not really serious. The 7th house is serious, and in order for you to get serious, you're going to need that Scorpio connection, that Neptune connection, which is like Neptune and Pisces would be like Archangel cards or those type of readings. Scorpio would be more like tarot cards, but it's all psychic. And Uranus usually means internal change, and that's where your true north node is, which is what you should be working on now. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Leo being that loving, adventurous person, fun person, and stuff like that. But that's also your family, education, and property house. It's also your heart house, which might be another reason why Raphael is telling you about your heart. Azrael told you something about your heart. And it's also like vehicle house. And then Uranus retrograde could mean you're not as independent as you could be in these areas. But Uranus retrograde can also mean internal change. Usually when you see Pluto retrograde, which is what you do see, and Uranus, Pluto is going to hit you. Like to get you motivated, Pluto will hit you. Pluto is external attack or external situation that causes you to change internally. So neither one of these may have dealt with karma, and it could be dealing more with you're like when you're not moving the way you should, Pluto will come and hit you, and it'll cause you to change internally. And that's what Uranus is. Uranus is internal change. Pluto is getting attacked from the outside to make you change. And because the moon is right there, I'm sure it has something to do with your soul. And then you have Virgo as the healer. That's the 6th house. Is that the 6th house? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, Virgo was in your 5th house. It's still healing, but that's like just basic love situations. All right. So again, now that we have a better understanding, we can ask that question. So it's 2 questions you ask. Basically, you're asking, has your karmic debt been met? And if a person has met their karmic debt, can they still incur more karma? And as long as people have karmic debt to meet, there's a good chance they will be reincarnated again until they meet that karmic debt. Excuse me for a second. How can I undo? I hope I can do it. Control. Come on, man. Alright. Oh, here it goes. Very good. Alright. Now, but we still have to explain. This is something that a lot of people don't really understand. See that whole it gets really difficult to try to explain this, and I try to keep it as simple as possible because a lot of people think it's religious belief. It's not a religious belief, it's a fact. But if you stay in this system, you stay under this whole moon thing and sun thing. And but when you really soul or sin, that's why the Bible keeps calling Jesus the Son and all that, because he saves you from sin. Like once a person really understands, when they accept that what he offers, whatever that you can call it Christianity, or you can call it just understanding what solar ascension is. I don't get that technical with it. I'm just telling you a fact. Once you accept that whole Messiah, the same thing that the Egyptians knew, he saves you from sin. In other words, he saves you from the moon. The moon is sin. Once you accept him, you don't reincarnate. You don't have to reincarnate no more. Like he's the way to the Father. He's the way to the source. So you don't have to worry about soul unions and soul and all that, because you're already going to ascend through the Son. But the only catch is this: in order to do that, you have to obey. And this is where a lot of Christians who think they're going to ascend are not going to ascend, because they're not obeying him. They say his name and they do a lot of things, but they're not obeying him. You have to really walk in the Spirit. That's why I have in this description box, how to avoid judgment and walk in the Spirit. There's a video, and I go step by step by what the Word of God says. Simply thing. Not telling anybody to choose your religious belief, but that's a fact. The Bible is a metaphysical book. It's not just a spiritual book. It's telling you that either you're going to do the Old Testament, which is going to sin, the moon, and reincarnate. They call that bondage and captivity. That's why when the beast comes, he takes people into captivity. Why does the beast take people into captivity? Because he comes after the ascension. Like according to the Bible, the beast comes after these people have ascended. They're in heaven now. Now on earth, there's a time of trouble, the great tribulation, and the beast comes, because now he takes them into captivity. They go back under the moon. They go back under law, the moon, and all that, and reincarnation. And the Grox kind of know, he explains that. The Grox one explains it really good, but he doesn't understand the whole thing about moon reincarnation yet. But the Grox one will tell you too, like after the ascension, there is no more grace period. Grace is all about ascending. So you don't have to sit there. That's up to you. You could hope that you unite with your twin and all that, or your soul, whoever you're looking for. You could hope you unite with that person, but what if they don't want it? What if they don't care? That's why you learn, and like you got to remember Michael, who keeps showing up. I'm surprised Raziel hasn't shown up yet, because he's Leo, who represents the sun. The sun rules Leo, but Michael really is that sun angel. He corresponds to all zodiac signs, but Michael really is connected to the sun, because he's connected directly to the Messiah. And that's why in Daniel chapter 10 to 12, they talk about Michael, because Michael was like, he was considered the archangel that represented God or Jesus on earth. That was always that way. Who is like God? That's his name. So in Revelation 19, when they talk about solar ascension, the angel that stands in the sun and calls, they're talking about solar ascension, but they're probably talking about Michael. And in Gabriel, he represents more the moon, but they both work together. So and that's why if you think of the Muslims, they say Gabriel started the Muslims, Muhammad, they deal with the moon. So he said, well, what does that got to do with anything? It got to do with everything, because while we're sitting here going, where's my soulmate and will I ever find love? You should be seeing the bigger picture. But you can only see the bigger picture when you get away from third dimensional. And whatever happens, when you really start to grow and get strong, you won't be worrying about it. And it's funny how this world is. The less you worry about love, the more it seems to find you. But when you're sitting there going, where's mine? How come mine? It seems to never come. Do you know how many dates I've been on when I was going on a date to pick up one woman, and all of a sudden some other woman I meet and she's ready to just go right then and there? And I'm like, where the hell were you when I was looking for and couldn't find nobody? But on a night I'm going to find somebody, I always meet another female that's basically would leave with me right then and there. Like right then and there, they would go, I don't know this woman from nowhere. We don't know each other. We might meet in the store. I might ask her a couple of questions, and she's ready to hang out. That's happened to me at least 2 or 3 different times. So we live in a very strange world. A lot of Murphy's Law, a lot of reverse psychology. When you want it, you can't get it. When you don't want it, here it is. You get too much of it, feast or famine. So you got to know all this. It's not just I love. That's why so many people think they find love, but all they have is broken relationships. Children that are going, where's daddy? How come we're daddy? And all kind of sad stuff. Even with the whole abortion thing. Oh, I don't want no kid. But you could have just took a second and practiced safe sex or birth control. Why did you think about it before? So we got a really crazy world we live in. So that's why I said when this twin flame hits, as much as people are going, where's my twin? It's not just about twin. This is how the universe is waking you up. That is 7 billion people on this planet. And what are you doing? What is your role in this? So it can't be a role where you're just going to keep running around for somebody else to give you answers. Because at the end of the day, you're going to realize, wow, I really spent a lot and I waited 3 months and nothing happened. And then when I called that psychic back, they said, oh, Did I say 3 months? Oh, no, by 6 months or by 2017, you'll have your love. Your love is coming. You're loving a good career. Yes, it will. And then you sit there and wait for 6 months, and then no love, no career and shit. And now you're getting pissed off. Now you're realizing you've been had. So I tell you straight up, this is not about. You may find your twin. I'm sure you will once you learn how to use your gifts. That's what they're going to try to tell you to do. But I thought I better stop because I don't want to, I don't want to seem mean. I'm just being honest. But now we looked at your natal chart just to find out what was going on, and now we have a better idea to ask the rest of your questions, because that's what I wanted to get a bearing. I like to get a foundation. But the theme will be, and I'm not going to change that. The theme will be, you do have the gifts to know. You're just not using them yet. You got to start using your gifts, working with the angels, get to know your natal chart and stuff like that. And then when you do ask questions, your questions will be more better asked, because you'll be asking your questions in harmony with an understanding of the chart. Not just where is this, or what is this, is that. You'll have a better understanding. All right. So when I ask this question, has your karmic debt been met? I'm going to ask the angels. I'll be back. Three cards pulled. Has her karmic debt been met? Life review. Now that's a good answer, because that's Scorpio. Jeremiah, that's the 8th house, and the 8th house deals with karma. Number 8 deals with karma. Take inventory of your life and resolve to change or heal anything that is unbalanced. So you got a lot of advice. See, this is what I'm saying. They gave you a lot of advice today. What to work on, how you should view yourself, and this and that. Now it's up to you to take this information, go somewhere quiet, and start making some goals based on what you said. Because if you don't do it, give yourself a little bit of time. You're going to go somewhere else and basically going to ask somebody else basically the same question you've already been answered the first time, and now this time. So until you learn to stand up, they're going to start swatting you now. And that's why you have that. See, Pluto and Saturn teach lessons. And Uranus, when it's retrograde, it's all about internal change. So Pluto is there. Pluto will become like your daddy and will spank you. He will hit you dramatically to make you realize, whoa, I really got to take this stuff seriously. Because, like I said, twin flame is a wake-up call. It has nothing to do with what you meeting this person and loving each other and all that. Because a lot of twin flames do that. They meet each other, they have all this great sex, and then all of a sudden they separate. Just like twin flame era. 6 videos. They promised to teach us. They promised to show us the way of twin flames. And they've been going for 10 months. They haven't came back and did one video. I call that a coward. Why are you running? Why are both of y'all running? Does only one of y'all have the password? Why can't one of you come back and say, hey, this is what happened? We said we were going to teach you about it, but then we separated. But, we'll work on it. We'll keep you updated. They didn't even come back and say that. Because this is hard. It's not easy. But the more you rely on the more you grow with your angels, the more you rely on the universe, the easier it becomes, because you stop worrying about it, and everything is going to be okay, because everything is working out in divine order. That is Raguel, the 9th house, Sagittarius. So Jeremiah is telling you about your karmic debt. He's saying, review your life review. Scorpio, which is your 8th house. Life review. He wants you to take inventory of your life. Just like I said, you got to go somewhere quiet. You have to take inventory of your life. Don't ask the psychic to read it to you. Because I guarantee at some point you're going to realize they might be right about a couple of things. But overall, you're going to realize they're just blowing smoke up your ass. Because the universe has said you're going to do it. Not Gary, not another psychic, not another card reader. You're going to learn how to do it. And then you're going to see your life greatly change. Take inventory of your life and resolve to change or heal anything that is unbalanced. So they're telling you to be responsible. Has my karmic debt been met? Or has her karmic debt been met? And then, see, here you go. See, now they're getting honest. Now you're going to know it's not Gary telling you. Gabriel shows up, who corresponds with the moon. So both Gabriel and Haniel deal with the moon. Gabriel deals with the moon or Cancer. And Gabriel says leadership. It's time for you to assume your leadership power and position and lovingly guide others. And you see Gabriel dropping a horn. He's telling you don't judge. This is not a horn of judgment. But he's telling you it's time for you to lead. Take your leadership power and lovingly guide others. Next thing, compassion. So I don't know if you had a problem with that, because now compassion is Zechariah, who's a Gemini, and he's telling you compassion. Soften your heart with respect to the situation and all the people involved, including yourself. So don't be too hard on yourself, but don't be too hard on other people. But I'm totally confident that once you start working with your archangels, you won't have these problems. You won't have these concerns. It's just a choice you have to make. So you ask, has your karmic debt been met? And they're based, Jeremiah is saying, well, you got to, anything in your life that's unbalanced, you got to heal it. Gabriel is saying, take leadership. Because that's how you hold yourself. That's what karma is. Karma is working with Saturn and all that. And it's working with Scorpio too. And Pluto. But the bottom line is, take leadership. Like, once you take responsibility for your actions, you shouldn't have to worry too much about karma. So I don't walk around worrying about karma. I just try to do the best I can, and if for some reason I'm not able to, I take it to God or whoever I need to take it to. And then Gabriel and Zechariah are telling you to make sure you know how you're loving others, you're not being too hard on others, and you're being compassionate, because that's going to help you with your karma as well. Because Jesus said, if you forgive others, he'll forgive you. If you don't forgive others, he won't forgive you. So keep these principles in mind. Can a person incur further karmic debt after meeting their karmic debt? And I just want to add, I'm definitely going to ask the angels, see what they say. But I can tell you right now, if you're working on what they just told you, leadership, your own leadership and healing stuff in your life, if you work on being a responsible person, for the most part, you won't have to worry about this concern. But then when you make a mistake, like I said, depending on what you believe, like if I make a mistake, I know who to go to. And I don't know what everybody believes, but, the universe, they know we're not perfect, so nobody will ever be perfect. There will be mistakes that are going to be made. Alrighty, so can a person incur further karmic debt after meeting their karmic debt? We'll be back with their answers. 4 cards pulled to answer that question. First card is Sanafine. He's telling you gentleness. Be very gentle with yourself at this time. Surround yourself with gentle people, situations, and environment. So if you look at this, because I think I'm going to put your chart for this video as a cover, but I would use this picture because he's basically telling you to chill out. Like it's like you're worrying way too much. So Sanafine is peace, and he's also the one that told you to work on your gifts, just like I told you. He's telling you to chill out with all this worrying, and you've heard Raphael tell you to chill out with all the worrying and give all your concerns to the angels. So he's playing his little ukulele. He's chilling. If you saw this picture of Sanafine, he's chilling out. He's not thinking about all this worrying and all this questions. Just chill out. Playing his music, he's good. Be very gentle with yourself at this time. Surround yourself with gentle people, situations, and environments. So stay away from the drama kings, drama queens. Learn how to be gentle. And that's what he's saying. Listen to some easy listening music, or some spiritual music, or some music that upbuilds you. And then nurture. Gabriel showed up again. Now, ironically, Gabriel wasn't showing up before. But now he's telling you to nurture. He's talking about the moon in Cancer, the nurturer. So you got to, wherever Cancer is on your chart, the 4th house is Cancer, but also where Cancer is on your chart. As you nurture a child, you nurture your own inner child. Both activities are important to you right now. So whether it's your, whatever, you might have some type of indigo child around you, because you're asking about one, sensitive child, crystal child, or even real children, but they're telling you make sure it's nurtured. Like I said, this is not, see, that's a good question to ask about karmic debt, but I can say something to people, but sometimes, especially the females, you don't need all that attitude. If you're the type of attitude person, you're hurting yourself. You think you're being a badass, but you got to understand, I'm going to tell you the truth, whether you want to accept it or not. You're in a world that's run by the devil. So when you act like the devil, where do you think you're going to get the same thing the devil got? That's why he wants you, because you could be proud. I mean, you could, let me try to explain. You could be like, proud in a good way. You could be strong. But it's just that when you think you got to run over top of people, disrespect people, always got a smart answer. Somebody asks you a question, yeah, that's gonna be bad karma. You are gonna incur bad karma doing that. So they're telling you to be gentle, learn how to nurture like the people you're supposed to nurture, learn how to love without judging. All that'll help you not have bad karma. And then Jofio, I think it's the first time she's shown up, is Libra or relationship. Clear your space, get rid of clutter, clear the energy around you, and use Feng Shui. So don't ever compare your new relationship to a previous relationship. Clear your clutter. Now is now, then is then. And that also may mean a real clear clutter. We may have a lot of stuff that we need to clear out. So she's also advising that. Next question. Raziel finally showed up. First time he's shown up, the Leo. And remember, he's your true north node, which you're supposed to be working on in this life. And he came with the dove, and Hanael came with the dove. So there is a video in that description box on the dove and the moon cycles that you may want to get familiar with. He says, I am bringing you esoteric information and symbols and helping you understand spiritual truths. So that's Raziel. He's going to help you with spiritual understanding. And that's what I try to tell you. When you work with these angels, a lot of those questions you ask in this reading, you won't ask no more. So they're offering their assistance to you. Now, finally, the final question that we're going to ask. Will she experience love again? And I'll be back with their answers. The question I asked was, will she experience romantic love again? Four cards pulled. First card, all is well. Once again, Jeremiah taking you to that 8th house, the same person that told you to take a life review. He's saying all is well. Everything is happening exactly as it is supposed to. With hidden blessings, you will soon understand. So since we have your chart really quick, we're going to look up what's going on with the Scorpio. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Scorpio is in your 7th house of relationships. Let's do it again. It might have been a 6. I might have counted too fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. Scorpio is in your 7th house of relationship. And they're letting you know that Neptune is right there, which rules Pisces. And Pisces is Sandalphon. Sandalphon is the one telling you to chill out. Chill out. Be gentle. Stop worrying. And they're trying to help you through your spirituality. But if you're not working with your angels, you're going to be confused. And that's what's going on now. Just like I told you. They're trying to help you. You got to learn how to work with your angels. And it's easy. Did you ever get an angel card reading card? And I think they're on half price right now. Go to angeltherapy.com, click on Hay House, and you can get the angel card that I think half price, I think. And they tell you what to do. Doreen Virtue teaches you from step 1 what to do with the cards and everything. So I'm not even going to try to tell you. But I would encourage you to look at the cards and get to know the cards and stuff. They hear everything you say, they do everything you say, and if you work with your cards long enough, you'll see that they really care, like they really know. Like when I'm sick, that card will fall off. If it's on the table, if I'm sick, that card will fall off and tell me, what to do to get better and stuff like that. Like a lot of beautiful things. So that's what they're trying to tell you to do. That's your 8th house, because that's a relationship house, and that's what you're asking them about, and that's why they keep telling you Jeremiah is there, Scorpio, what you need to do. And Scorpio is still your karma house, because he's the 8th house. He's Scorpio. He rules the 8th house. And then your 8th house has Raguel or Sagittarius, who tells you the same thing Scorpio does. Everything is happening by divine order. You just got to get on. You got to get on the right bandwagon. You got to learn how to get on the train. It's no sitting around expecting somebody else to tell you about your life, because you shouldn't want that anyway. It's all right to get some advisories, but at the end of the day, you want to make the decisions on your life, because that's what it means to be an adult. And again, you got all the help of these angels helping you, so you can't fail. If you fail, it's because you didn't believe it, or you didn't want to get up and do your part. You wanted somebody else to tell you about your life, and you shouldn't want that anyway. I don't mind a little guidance, but I'm going to make the final decision. That's just how it goes. Now, Jophiel again. Now, finally, Jophiel is showing up. And it's all about your 7th house, because you asked about love, and you're Libra. Jophiel is Libra, and she's working with Jeremiah, Scorpio, in your 7th house of relationships. So you can see how accurate these angel cards are. You got Jophiel and Jeremiah helping you. She's a Libra, and she's telling you to get outdoors. Now, why is she telling you to get outdoors? Go outside, get some fresh air, connect with nature to release stress and gain new creative ideas. So that's why she's telling you to go outdoors. Next card. Raziel again. Take back your power. Wow. Take back your power. Use your God-given power and intention to manifest blessings in your life. So that's Leo. Take your power. And that's your true north node. This is what you're supposed to be doing in this life. It's your true north node, Leo. Take back that power. Final card, Metatron. Focus on your highest priority, and I will help you get organized and motivated. So Metatron corresponds with Virgo. That's the healing. So now, only because of these questions you asked, I know they were significant. We're going to look over them, and we're just going to honestly. Okay, so you asked about your husband, whether he was a soulmate, a twin flame, and they decided to just basically tell you, work on your extrasensory perceptive gifts. And also, Raphael was basically saying, you want to be healthy. In other words, you want to focus on your life and you going forward. You asked what your solar ascent, which I also explained what solar ascension is. So Chamiel did say something about a spiritual soulmate. But then Raphael told you, give your worries to the angels. And then Sandafon said, you've had victory. Then when you ask if the young man you're referring to, your twin flame, which will be your twin soul, Ariel basically says, spread your wings. Which she could have been saying, get ready to go. Or they could have been telling you to be cautious, because when Michael showed up and said you're safe. And I'm just trying to protect you at the end of the day. Because I know too many women have been beaten up, too many women have been hurt, and too many women have been killed. So when I see that card arranged, as soon as I saw Ariel say that, I was like, uh-oh, this is starting to seem eerily familiar. So you just have to get to know people, be careful, stay in safe spots, try to find out if a person will let you get to know them. Like I just had a woman and a man was having sex with her over and over again, and she's thinking they're going to be together, and then she finds out he's married. So before you jump in bed, ladies, slow it down. Slow it down. Try to find out a little bit more. And if a man's going to get upset because you're just asking what I call questions you have a right to know, and if he's going to get mad, fuck him. Get another guy. I mean, it's so sorry, guys. It's just, I guess you guys just don't realize there's 7 billion people on planet Earth, and I say 8 billion. So I'm sorry if sometimes you gotta just sacrifice and wait a little bit. I got another woman that she's just jumping in bed. Oh, she keeps running back to her twin. When a twin hurts her feelings, she goes with her soulmate. Then she'll have sex with her soulmate, but then she wants to run back to her twin, and then she breaks her soulmate heart. And he's a grown man crying because she's playing him out. See, that's a woman that Michael told her, don't do that. Be clear about what you desire. Unwavering faith, because nobody likes a person like that. I understand the emotions. Don't think I don't understand the emotions. She really wants to be with a twin, but he's playing her out. But she shouldn't hurt this guy. So it does require a little bit of maturity, and we have to learn to stop thinking with only our 8th house senses. See, 8th house senses is all about sex and animalistic behavior. You got to learn how to use your mind, your spirit, your heart. That's what all of this is about. That's what all of this is about. Not where's my twin? Will me and my twin get together? No, it's about you realizing it's a full world out there, and what are you doing to help? That's what it's about. And the only way God could get your attention was to strike your heart. So that's what he did. That's that Pluto retrograde that you see on your chart. He's coming for you. He's going to wake you up. He's going to shake you up. Now, Raguel, I said if you want any questions answered about this young male you're talking about or this male you're talking about, clairsentience. You got to work on your spiritual gifts. And then Hannah L said, get to know your moon cycles. And that's funny how we're doing this on a new moon. So again, let me do this. All right. Now, please tell her about her relationship with the male. Azrael said, oh, he's trying to comfort you, help your heart to heal. Michael said, remember who you are. And then Azrael said, hello from heaven. You got people in heaven, your relatives or whatever he said, loved ones. And he says, your loved ones in heaven. They're all helping you. So again, there was no question that answered about the male. They're basically worrying about you right now. Kind of like what I said. And then when you asked about great love, Michael told you to everything that's happening. I mean, Jeremiah said everything that's happening is happening for a reason. Everything is going to go work well. Jophiel said get outside, get some fresh air, start working with nature some more. Raziel told you the same thing Michael did, because they both deal with the sun, and I deal with the sun, the Leo, and Michael deals with the sun, and it's the truth. So we just tell you the truth, and they say take back your power. Take back your power. Let's stop talking about your soul, your twin. What is he? Your crystal. What is he? Oh, blah blah. What about when are you gonna find love and blah blah blah? Take back your power. That's when you'll find love. When you know how to take back your power and use your gifts. And then Metatron said, get your priorities together. He'll help you do it. And that's Virgo for healing. And the tarot card number 9 is Virgo, and that's the Hermit, which means sometimes you do have to spend some time by yourself to get built up. That's why I said you should have took everything in a quiet spot and really listened and began to apply the information, because that's what you're going to need to do. Or like I said, you can do it your way, but you're just going to keep getting heartache and heartache. You might get a little bit of love, get a little bit of sex, but you're still going to find out in some heartache situation. And the bottom line, what happens when you do it the way they teach you, you'll be strong regardless. So even if love leaves you, you'll be able to deal with it because you're a lot stronger, because you're not relying on that anymore. You're relying on spirit. You're relying on why you're really here. So if you have a bad relationship, you'll better cope with it. Otherwise, you'll probably still make it, but you'll go through all the heartache and the pain and feeling alone. And we, like right now with all this twin flame energy hitting planet Earth, you're gonna see a whole lot more people going to jail, just like that teacher that slept with that 13-year-old. Now that probably was her soulmate. Maybe it was a twin. Who the heck knows? But now she's gonna go to jail for 10 years of her life, and she killed the abortion, so she got to pay for that with God. And you're gonna see people that don't know how to deal with the dynamic energy that a twin flame relationship has. So there's gonna be like a lot of, especially when they jump in bed really quick. When you meet your twin, you jump in bed really quick and have this animalistic sex, this Scorpio sex, and then a person still doesn't want to stay with you. But now you're crazy because you can't deal with all these emotions. Now you want to get the person, or you want to get their lover, or now you're in jail because you didn't know how to deal with that twin flame energy. It's not a joke. So that's why the angels are recommending you work with them, get yourself better and improved, and you'll be in a better position, not only to help yourself on this journey we call life, but to help other people, because that's really what all of this is about. And that's why you got struck with it, and that's why they want you to realize that it's more that you have to do than worrying about where your twin is or love. Love is always there. You're always loved. The angels tell you, Michael just told you, remember, you're greatly loved. You're always loved. The only way you're not loved is because you're focusing on third dimensional deception and not on the reality of who you really are and who you're really connected to and what they can do. So I hope this made sense to you. If anybody else is interested in any of the services you see out here, they can contact me in the description box. If you have any questions of any service you don't know, like somebody thinks I only do twin flame, I do everything. Please, it's just that right now planet Earth is getting hit with twin flames, and the angels are getting you guys ready for what's about to happen in 2017. 2017 will be an amazing year. It's just beginning. It will be an amazing year of twin flame union, people growing up emotionally, secrets and things that being beneficial. I'm not talking about anything bad, but secrets being let out that'll benefit people. It's going to be a great year, which is why I continue to tell people, get your natal charts, get your angel card readings, and realize you have to stop thinking third dimensional. Why? Because God is about to shift. God is about to shift everything. If you just look at your politics, look at what's going on at the White House, all these things are a shift, and you got to be ready for it. So don't wait until it's too late to be asking questions, because what happens if I'm not out here no more? Who's going to do your natal chart? You can go to Joe Blow, but I'm guaranteed he can't do what I do. Or he might charge you way more. He might charge you actually what it's worth. And you may not, if you can't afford what I'm charging, there's no way you're going to afford his. All you got to do is go to Dr. Stanley and see how much she charges just for the chart itself. Look at everything I'm doing. So we got to wake up. This is time to wake up. God said 2017 is a year to grow up, and we're going to stick to that boundaries. And it is my hope. It is my hope and desire and my prayer, because I am a pastor, for y'all that don't know that, that you do it God's way, do it the angels' way, get that spiritual maturity, use your gifts. Because if you remember, all the apostles had gifts in the Bible. They all work with their angels. So why ain't you working with yours? And why ain't you working with your gifts? So make sure you're working on these things to the glory of God who gave you these things, but also to make your life a little bit glorious. Because when people see you, wow, his life's way better. What is he doing? Way better. Because I give all glory to God, and I thank the angels for everything they did. This is you were listening to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444, seen and heard on YouTube. Thank you. God bless.